Mr. Jethmalani, just to understand here, when we spoke about it, national sentiment over the last 3 or 4 days on this subject has been very acute. First of all, people were initially shocked. They said, no, Sonia Gandhi could not have signed this deal. Republic is lying. And then pictures came out, evidence was brought out. It was picked up by the BJP. More and more pictures came out, and people suddenly realized that in 2008, when Sonia Gandhi went for the Beijing Olympics, where she was treated like a head of state, suspiciously so, there was a very detailed, long pact with the Chinese Communist Party. The Congress is completely quiet on it. It feels it does not owe any answer to the people of India as to what the contents of this understanding between the Chinese Communist Party and the Vadra Gandhi family is. You feel it needs to be picked up even by the NIA, the National Investigating Agency. Why so?
Well, because the National Investigating Agency is authorized to, is the agency which is empowered to investigate offences under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act.
Why do you feel this is an offence?
And the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act is an act which deals with any claim or support of any claim which disputes the territorial integrity of India. Now, given the current situation, that there is a war and there's a territorial dispute, etc., it's incumbent upon the Congress. Is there anything mentioned upon that in that secret agreement that deals with boundary disputes, etc.? Nobody is saying that this could be a perfectly innocuous document. But given the fact that the Congress is all the time supporting the Chinese view, suspicions are being raised. Why are they doing this? I mean, they constantly harangue the government and you know, they talk about intrusions when there are no intrusions. I mean, that's been now debunked. There was an intrusion. It was rebuffed. But is there something in that agreement which in any way impinges on national security and particularly on border security?
Yeah, the point that he is raising here, Vikas Gupta, and we need to look at this very logically, is that it is extremely dangerous for any foreign government to have a lever in the political processes of our country. It is very dangerous for the Chinese government to have indirect control over the government of India, which was being run by the Congress party till 2014. So what he's saying is very serious, that Sonia Gandhi and Tonia Maino knowingly compromised national security by having this arrangement with the Chinese government, and she's not talking about it now. She refuses to disclose it.
The BJP has the same arrangement.
No, one minute.
I have high respect and regard for Mr. Jethmalani, but most importantly is I really want to pose one question to Mr. Jethmalani, that whether he has any knowledge of the contents of the agreement that was signed between these two parties way back in 2008. Secondly, more important is whether the BJP or the government at present it was in know-how about this agreement for last 6 years or not. And since Mr. Jinping was a personal friend of Mr. Narendra Modi, Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister, and whom he has met 9 times in last 6 years as the Prime Minister, and innumerable times during the Chief Ministership of Gujarat. Whether that bonhomie now ends and whether they want to pick up something which is affecting the country or the border, I really don't know whether any agreement was signed way back in 2008.
The agreement was signed.
Whether that agreement has any bearing on today's conflict, I think that is most important aspect.
All right. Let me just quickly answer that. Look, I'm not saying that I have any knowledge about the contents. In fact, I seek knowledge of the contents of that document as a concerned Indian citizen. I want to know what that agreement said. It may be a perfectly innocuous document, and I've only asked for an NIA investigation because at the moment that document is not forthcoming. If it is not forthcoming, and if it may, my tweet, which everybody has picked up, said it has possible security implications. Now my suspicions about possible are now going to probable because there's concealment. When a party which has a document in its exclusive possession doesn't disclose it, it leads to an adverse inference against that party. Now I'm beginning to suspect there is something in that document, because if it was a completely innocuous document, the Congress should have no hesitation, being a democratic party, disclosing the content of that document, bringing it in the public domain and letting the entire public be absolutely sure that there is nothing that is troublesome in that document.
Well.